Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Nawaz with the latest roundup of sports today. Let's take a look at what we're discussing. It's a moment to celebrate and a moment to rejoice because Pakistan have beaten South Africa in the second one-day international and have now gotten an unassailable lead of 2-0 in the series with one-day international remaining. After being put into bat first, Pakistan played brilliantly. That middle order, that experience of Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan made the real difference. The partnership was absolutely clinical and I think it mattered the most. It was a bit unfortunate both of them couldn't score centuries, Babar in the 70s and Rizwan in the 80s, but nonetheless I think the innings that they played will not only give them confidence, but the team has now gotten an idea of what it matters when your experience comes to the party. And after that, the way Kamran Ghulam has played, I think it's a great moment for an individual who has realized that the last couple of overs, the match situation, we always talk about analyzing the match situation and game awareness, and I think that's where Kamran was clinical. Scoring a half century of just 25 deliveries made the real difference alongside Salman Ali Agha with critical 30 runs, and even Irfan Khan Niazi and Shaheen Shah Afridi chipping in with critical runs as well. And I think the highlight of the game has to be Abrar Ahmed hitting that 4-over fine leg. Nobody would have expected that to happen. Unfortunate they wasted the last delivery, but nonetheless I think Pakistan posted a brilliant total of 329. And once South Africa came to bat, we understood it's going to be a match that will go right down to the wire. But credit to Klaasen. After Zorzi gave them a good start, Klaasen stayed in there till the very end. Unfortunate 3 runs short of his century as well. But Pakistan bowled brilliantly, and we're so glad that Shaheen Shah Afridi is back in rhythm. He's once again understanding that he's leading this pace attack, and I think it's going to do wonders for his self-confidence. Unfortunate Saim dropped that catch and he was denied his 5th wicket, Shaheen Shah Afridi, but the way the ball was reversing and the way, I think the best moment was Shaheen hitting his Yorkers once again. That is a great sight once again for us to watch, coming round the wicket, coming over the wicket, utilizing the pitch as well, the crease and the side on. I think everything was clinical for Pakistan, and winning this series, Pakistan will get a lot of confidence going forward into the Champions Trophy as well. Then of course we move on and we tell you that the draft date of the Pakistan Super League's next edition has been announced. The drafting would now take place on the 11th of January and it's taking place in Gwadar, which I think is a fantastic omen as well. So we're very happy with the destination, with the date that has been announced, and it's going to be an exciting PSL once again when we move forward. So that's what we're discussing, and I think there's a lot more perspective going into the Pakistan's game and the Champions Trophy as well, which we will be discussing in detail. Time now to introduce the guests. First of all, joining us in studios is senior sports journalist and expert Abdul Jabbar Faisal. Assalamu alaikum, sir. How are you?
Walaikum salam. Have a nice day, viewers.
Thank you very much for joining us. We've also been joined by sports expert Malik Usman Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum, Usman. How are you?
Walaikum assalam, I'm doing well.
Thank you very much for joining us, and we've also been joined by fellow anchor and expert Sayyid Mohammad Awais. Assalamu alaikum, Awais. How are you?
I'm good. Walaikum assalam, Ahmadi. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you very much for joining us as well, Awais. Usman, what a clinical performance. And I think in the past 2 games, what we've seen is that everybody's taken responsibility. In the first game, it was Saim and Salman. In this game, we saw our middle order, particularly Babar, Rizwan, complemented each other. They were enjoying their innings. And then talk about the icing on the cake, which was Kamran Ghulam, and then the rest of the people contributing at the end.
Yeah, this performance was a complete performance. Looking at the past couple of years, I think this was the best game, one-day game that Pakistan played, and we all are very proud of them. It's a brilliant victory against South Africa in South Africa in a couple of weeks' time. They have beaten Australia in Australia, South Africa in South Africa, and they are tuning up really, really well for the Champions Trophy that they are going to host and defend. So I think it is good time for Pakistan, and they were having a party atmosphere yesterday while they were batting. And it all started once they got a good start, and suddenly Pakistanis are realizing that they need to have a quick fire start, whether it's a 20, 30, 40 run opening stand or for the first 10 overs or so, you can get 60 odd runs so that you can dictate your innings on your own terms against the opposition. And that is what yesterday they did, as we were listening to Rizwan as well, that once they got a quick start, although it was a short start, but it was a quick start, it gave enough time to Babar and Rizwan to get going, and they played the ball on merit. And once it was 30 overs old, they started to dictate terms. and they upped the ante, and in the end it was Kamran Ghulam, Irfan, and even Haris and Abrar joined the party. And once they went over 300, it was always Pakistan that was going to start as favourites in the second innings. I think the Pakistan got 30 runs too many for the South Africans, and once the second innings started, we all saw that how Pakistan always has this omen that even if the opposition gets a good start, they just seep into the opposition batting lineup, they dry out the runs, and then they pick up wickets. And once the ball started reversing, it was always Pakistan that was going to win the game. If the first match was all about nerves, second was all about the skills of the batsmen and the bowlers. Pakistan are flying. They will be one of the favourites for the Champions Trophy if they keep up with this form.
Usman, this gives the side a lot of confidence that, we can go beyond 300. We have to go beyond 300.
Yeah, but I think an outdated method that Pakistan was using, it's always effective for them. I just don't understand how does that happen. That tells a lot about a brilliant finisher having being in your side. Kamran Ghulam, for all his qualities, we never knew that he was so flamboyant and in the end of the innings. He was a big score machine, we all knew that, but scoring 62 off 30 odd balls was fantastic. And if you have a couple of hitters down the order and scoring 300 against South Africa in South Africa gives a lot of confidence to this Pakistan side. And with the bowling attack that is so potent as is of Pakistan's, I think it will give a lot of confidence to the dressing room and the players on the bench, as well as the playing 11 and the coaching staff.
Absolutely. Jabbar Faisal, Pakistan really needed this victory. They beat Australia in a one-day series in Australia. Now they've beaten South Africa. The performance yesterday, winning a series and scoring 300 plus runs, then containing them with good reverse swing bowling, will give them a lot of confidence.
Ahmed, we were discussing here before the previous matches, Babar Azam performance and Shaheen Afridi, and we were also discussing top order batting. This time top order batting showed some power and scored a lot of runs, and that's why this was there was no pressure on Kamran Ghulam, and he played brilliant innings, and he was declared best player of the match. This was the basic difference of the both innings. Klaasen played very good innings and tried to come back, but nobody supported him well during the innings. David Miller scored little bit, but not enough to take the team to victory. But this is what I observed in this one. Pakistan team was looking so manageable. Everyone played their own role in the Pakistan team victories. Top order, Sam also plays short innings. Abdullah Shafiq could not score again, but with the passage of time, the victories will come, the confidence will boost. This is very important. Now we are confident our team will perform well in the ICC Champions Trophy.
Absolutely. I think they have to carry this confidence forward, and I think it's a tournament where the confidence will really matter. You're playing in home conditions, you've got a home crowd behind you. Once you have that confidence that we can, win a match from any situation, that's where championship mentality comes in as well. But Awais, how would you analyze this performance? A lot of things have happened for Pakistan cricket that, from yesterday's game we're really happy about.
First of all, I'm really sorry, Pakistan team, because I have been criticizing a lot for the Pakistan team because of the performance. But obviously, I had that in mind because the 3 T20 series against Australia, you lost as a captain. 2 T20 matches against South Africa. So obviously, what comes in the mind was that he would be under pressure. But the way Pakistan team, specifically after having that 2 early breakthroughs in the opening department, then the middle order performing for you, especially Babar Azam, Rizwan having a great partnership over there, then especially Kamran Ghulam, a person who has played a lot of domestic cricket. That's the thing, what we say, when you have an experience in domestic cricket, you can adapt to the conditions, what's required at the international level, because this is not the game plan what actually Kamran is known for, what he had done yesterday, because he's kind of a batsman who needs some time. He plays a little bit down, not an aggressive approach kind of a batsman who comes from the word go 200 plus strike rate. Ahmed bhai, it was a brilliant one to watch on. And one thing what I loved about Kamran was that he didn't try to just rotate the strike. It was that whatever ball he got from, especially from Shamsi, it was targeted in the proper area, where the ball had to be gone. So that's what a confidence shows on. Agha Salman getting a good run over here. That it was overall, I would say, a good combination team. But still, again, the opening department is a concern, and it has literally been shown over there. Saim Ayub has been a superb performer. He performed very well, but Abdullah Shafiq is under pressure. He's a lot of under pressure. He needs to perform because he has been given a lot of chances. Remember, from the World Cup till now, he has been consistent part of the Pakistan team. he needs to come to the party. But it's unfortunate that he hasn't been performing well. Psychological pressure is there. The management needs to talk to him. But congratulations to Rizwan, the first Asian captain to win a series in Australia against South Africa. In South Africa, Pakistan are the only team to win 3 competitive series in South Africa. That shows the combination, that shows the aggression. And if we just talk about yesterday's match, that's the combination what was missing in Pakistan team. The jab score, I would say, everyone was happy, hugging each other. But that incident, Klasa versus Haris Rauf, I mean, that was interesting to watch on, because the way Babar stopped Haris Rauf, it was going to be a massive thing over there. But one thing, after many years, you saw Pakistan team having that reverse swing, what Pakistan is known for, scoring 300 plus runs after, if I'm not wrong, after 8 or 9 months gap. I mean, because whenever we sit over here, we talk about one thing, that Pakistan team is, if they score 250, 260, Pakistan can be on a safe side. But yesterday, if you remember, Ahmed, I told you that what I'm thinking is thinking about more than 300 runs, because you're going to play the Champions Trophy, you're going to play the highest level cricket. You need to target more than 300 runs. That's the winning total in nowadays ODI cricket. But your bowlers have done a fabulous job for you.
Absolutely. And I think Awais Shaheen in particular, he also, like Babar Azam, has been involved in a situation where he's truly lost himself. You know, that captaincy saga, then coming back, then being removed, then he was, in a similar case where he was dropped from that test match. There was a lot of confusion. But how would you analyze his performance yesterday, which will now give him so much confidence? Like I said, I'm a bit disappointed. Had he gotten 5 wickets, he would have been over the moon. But still, these 4 wickets really matter.
See, Ahmed bhai, if you just describe a fast bowler, specifically like Shaheen Shah Afridi, if you just go before this match, before the series, I would say, when he was struggling, the biggest thing what you faced was that the follow-on was not what Shaheen Shah Afridi follow-on used to be while bowling. Then when you talk about your bending your back, it was not that what Shaheen Shah Afridi used to bend his back. Because if you remember, in a fast bowling lineup, if your pace is around 143, 144 and it just drops to 141, 142, that's not a major concern. But when it drops to 138, 136, that's a major concern. That means there's something, your hamstring is not that frequently following what a fast bowler is known to. Your back is not supporting you. That means you're carrying some niggle or you're carrying some fatigue on a fitness level. But if you talk about yesterday's match, I told you, like, it was a different kind of a spark in the Pakistan team. Specifically, the thing what I loved was that after many years, you have introduced the art of swing. Specifically, if you talk about the reverse swing, that was a missing factor in the Pakistan team, because if you want to have that reverse swing, you need to have that kind of pace in your delivery. 140 clicks is the one which actually reverse swings the ball for you. That's what Pakistan shown yesterday. I mean, that's what they're capable of. But a good sign. We need to understand one thing. I know many of them criticize that why Shaheen Shah Afridi is not part of the test side. We need to understand it's just 2 to 2.5 months left for the Champions Trophy. You need to keep him safe. I don't want that thing repeated again, what happened back in England when we were playing the finals. He got, because he's kind of a player who's going through that fitness issues. You need to just save him up over here. It's a nice sign that Pakistan is keeping him safe.
Usman, I think, sometimes cricket experts, former cricketers and even cricket fans are too unfair. If the guy is very comfortable playing white ball cricket, then let him be. I don't know why we've developed this rhetoric that we forcefully want a player to play all formats for Pakistan.
Yeah, I agree. If a player is not comfortable, he has already given his consent that he is not fair enough, good enough to play test cricket or one-day cricket or whichever format he chooses up to. Once a player has given his consent or disconsent to a certain format, I think the selector should be looking at the other players. There are a lot of players in the domestic cricket which can serve the purpose, and once a player has not shown his motivation towards a certain format, you don't expect him to be giving so many fruitful outputs. And that is one of the reasons that our fans just go against them, that as if he has done something wrong to the nation. It's not that way. It's a sport, and I think a player is being too fair enough to state that he's good enough for this or he's not good enough for that, and he knows his body more than anybody else. And if he thinks that his body is not good enough to tackle the 5-day affair of a test match or a certain pressure of a T20 or a one-day, so then I think it is good to ignore him and go for a player who is willing and who has shown a lot of motivation to go into that game or format to play that game. So players, the fans, they are always enthusiastic, they are always emotional, they always want their stars, their favorite players to be performing in every format, in every game, but as humans it's not possible to do so, and the fans should understand it's always about their enthusiasm and emotions. It is nothing against the player, but that is how this country is all about. The Asians are all about, they love this game, they love their players, they love their heroes, but sometimes there is a slight niggle that the players get as injuries, the fan and player bond gets disconnected from some misunderstanding or due to emotions.
Absolutely, and I think it's unjustified for the players as well. Once you're forcing them to do something, it's a professional sport and they're professional sportsmen. So I think they get to decide the profession and the relevant department they want to be in for Pakistan as well. Yes, Usman, you'd like to add something?
Yeah, I was just thinking about the various sports, if you compare them with football, basketball or tennis or whichever game you want to. See, if a player calls a day on his career, just look at Ravindra Chandra Ashwin, suddenly has called a day on his international career. So once the mentality, the body, if that does not allow you to go to a game or to a format, it is straightforwardly stated that he is not ready for that. And I think this is very fair and true about the player as well. He has not cheated. Sometimes we, the fans and the selectors and the experts, do talk about players who carry a niggle or an injury and go into a test match or a one day or a T20 and they don't give their 100%. It is much better for a player to quit a format or a game to state that he is not mentally prepared or his body is not ready to do so. Likewise in football or any other sport, you can see many players who give up their international career for club cricket just because they don't have enough time, or they think that their body does not have enough in itself to carry on with both duties of international football and domestic football or club football.
But Usman, the other conundrum is that we then decide the player's fate based on the wrong format he's playing
that is
for.
true.
Now, a prime example is of Usama Mir, who was a top performer in the T20 format. He played brilliantly in the PSL as well. He took 6 wickets in a game as well. But we decided the fate of his career based on his performances in one-day international cricket. And in the past, we've done that with many players for the wrong format.
Yeah, it always reminds me of a comment from a former captain, World Cup winning captain. If you would have got that player. Yeah. He once stated that Pakistan's team is not selected by the selectors, but it is selected by the media. It's all about the pressure that flows from the media, and I think the players, just like the players, the selectors also get emotional and they just lose their cool, and I don't think there is too much method into it when they go out to select a player. Once a player is dropped, he's confused, and a couple of players who are selected in the squad are also confused. I completely agree, and it's a very good example of Usama Mir, who was touted to be the next big thing in T20 cricket, but he was dropped due to a catch or a poor performance in one-day international World Cup. And I think that is pretty unfair because it's a different temperament, different format, different skills, different capabilities that are required for the 3 different formats of cricket. And if there are some statistician or analysts that work with the NCA or the Pakistan Cricket Board or the cricket team in general, I think they would be good enough to state and bring out those kind of stats, if not the common sense that why a certain player who is good enough in a certain format should not be picked or dropped in any other format.
Well, certainly. Jabbar Faisal, the problem with Pakistan cricket often has been that the players have been played in the wrong format. But now once you're seeing players performing in a particular format, you must have that communication and that trust with the player and the management.
I think this should be the management how to select the players. But in the Pakistan, Mr. Other guy mentioned that our players have different problems. Just like you said, fitness problem. It is good and nice woman that Shaheen Afridi and also other guy Naseem Shah also know looking smart and good and fit. It is good for the Pakistan team. But this criteria must be clear. Once few years back in Pindi, one-day team was selected after T20 national tournament. This was wrong way, but it was happened here in Pakistan. But there is also an issue in nepotism. Lot of other things are there, but there should be clear criteria to select the guys. Definitely, chance must be given to those guys who perform well in the same category.
But Jabbar Faisal, there's been so much inconsistency with the cricket board as well that the criteria has never been defined. With each passing year, it's been different. This is the first time that we believe, to be honest, and all of us too, I think majority people now in Pakistan, more than 90% believe that this is a PCB setup that will stay there for the next 3 years.
Actually, whenever new head of the PCB comes, he made changes. For example, Imran Khan, when became the Prime Minister, Ramiz Raja took over the PCB, and they entirely changed the structure of sports. But soon after that, we go back on the previous one. This should not be happened. A clear, according to constitution, according to system, we should run our affairs. That's why we cannot deal our issues and problem in the domestic cricket too, also international. We should manage things properly. If the head of PCB changes, there should be system run for everyone same. That's why we are not producing good results someday.
Absolutely. I think that's where the inconsistency comes in as well. Indirectly, that really affects, or directly, it really does affect the system as well. But as from here onwards now, the team really needed to be playing together once again. Do you finally see that happening? Because after the 2017 Champions Trophy, the team has never been that kind of united. Of course, we saw it in the 2 T20 World Cups as well, but in phases. After that, there's been a real struggle for the players to, trust each other.
That's an I don't know what to answer, but because the disturbance was created by us, not by the players. First of all, whatever happened in the Pakistan Cricket Board, obviously that does create disturbance. Taking one guy as a captain, then just removing him, getting the other guy as a captain. See, Ahmed Bhai, as a human being, we need to understand one thing. It's obviously whatever is done in the team, it comes in your mind that this guy might have played some policy behind me, so I've been just removed as a captain. Now he's the captain. That thing does happen on, and that disturbs the culture of the team. And I'm really sorry to say that many of the legend cricketers, the ex-cricketers, even tried to mess up with the team, and that created the whole fuss in the Pakistan team. But if you see this Pakistan team, which played yesterday, I would say the players gelling up, the players fighting for Pakistan, that shows what Pakistan team is. Everyone has been talking about this team. Everyone commentator has been talking about that. One moment you want to watch them, the other moment you say, no man, we don't want to watch the Pakistan team. What, God forbid, what they would do. But that's what Pakistan team does. They can win the matches, a tough match on a day. They can beat a team. Remember New Zealand versus Pakistan? Everyone said New Zealand is a winning candidate over here. But Pakistan, the way they performed, it was a shut-up call for many of them. The way Fakhar Zaman performed over there. So that's what Pakistan team carries on. But again, I'll tell, we need to understand that we need to create not a disturbance. We need to take this guy seriously. There might be some 2 or 3 changes for the Champions Trophy, but this setup needs to understand one thing: the star on your chest, it's the Pakistan. It's first, then you guys are after that. I mean, we need to understand, because somewhere, unfortunately, as a cricketers, we forget one thing, that we are playing for country, we are playing for Pakistan, and we start to ego ourselves, and we think that we are the biggest stars over here, not the cricket board. The cricket board has been doing a fabulous job by saying that this is the captain, you need to back him up. If not, that's the door, you can go out from here. And that's what needs to be done over here. The team, this gel-up squad looks amazing, and Pakistan, believe me, would be a great side in the Champions Trophy.
Well, that's a very pertinent comment, and I think we have really failed to analyze this over the years as well. But the reality should be put in front of everybody, Usman, that certain former cricketers, not all of them, have caused real damage to the Pakistan cricket team by their comments and backdoor policies which they've tried to initiate.
Yeah, but they have been pretty successful, and that is one of the reasons why I say the board is a very weak body, the Pakistan Cricket Board. They come on TV, they say a couple of things, and it's not that they just say it, they try to implement that as well.
Manipulate the system.
Manipulation system is always there, and that is one of the reasons, because there is grouping system in Pakistan side, and it just reminds us, it takes us into nostalgia of the 90s when we were growing up and we knew that there were some groups and all that, and after maybe 10-20 years the things were cooling down, it has sparked. Avazbhai was talking about that the board made this team weaker. I completely agree with this. But one thing that I slightly disagree is that Pakistani team as a one-day team, that is one-day team. He did not speak about the one-day team, but I am speaking about the one-day team, has never been up with the current style of cricket. It always plays the style of cricket that has been adopted in the 90s. That first 10 overs, see off the new ball, consolidate last 10 overs, go helter-skelter, score 100 in the last 10 overs. That is what actually happened yesterday as well. But once these kind of pitches do come into play with the reverse swings and all that, then Pakistan becomes really very lethal, and its body language and the atmosphere that it generates, it's a dream for any spectator of cricket or any fan of cricket. He loves to watch Pakistan team just because of the colorful team it is. Who will believe that a couple of months back they lost to USA and now they are beating Australia in Australia, South Africa in the one-day format. So the ex-cricketers also need to keep their cool. Our fans, our public is already very emotional and they are very hyper about Pakistan cricket. They need to cool down. They understand cricket much better than a common Pakistani fan. So they need to educate the fans about cricket rather than putting in more oil or fuel to the fire.
Well, but Usman, particularly because there's too much of T20, mentality now, even in the fans as well, that sometimes we fail to understand, and the terminology of white ball cricket, I think, has really put things in a mess. T20 and one day are separate formats. One day cricket, 50 overs, you'll need these kinds of partnership where somebody's making an 80 on 90 deliveries, somebody's scoring a 50 on 70 deliveries, because unless you do that and you try to evolve this modern day cricket mantra, what will happen is you'll end up not even playing 50 overs or getting to 250.
That is true, and that is one question that has been raised about Test cricket as well, because the T20 cricket is actually overtaking or overwhelming the one day and Test cricket as well. I completely agree with this, and I think one day format is actually a good format. It's not an outdated format. I like this format because it has a bit of both T20 and Test match, that you can start well, you can consolidate like a Test match, and then you can finish in a helter-skelter manner like a T20 innings. So you obviously need not one but two, I think, two players who can play with a strike rate of around 80-90, who can actually take the game deeper and deeper, and it can also help in rejuvenating a lost innings. So it's not all about just hitting. Like in T20, if you lose a couple of wickets early, the game is gone, done and dusted, and Test cricket is totally different. And specifically talking about the white ball, in one day cricket, if you have a couple of batsmen who can actually play that slightly boring style of game, I think I don't mind that, because it just tells about the temperament of the players and how you can win a game from a very losing cost. That does not happen in a T20 cricket. So that is a charm of one day cricket that you will be missing in T20 cricket.
Well, absolutely, and I think that's where the collective approach comes in as well, that you identify players based on the strengths and weaknesses that they have. But in a hindsight, Jabbar Faisal, I think we need to decide and discuss that it was very important for Babar Azam to find form. The way he batted yesterday, it really matters that, he regains that confidence once again. It's very important for Pakistan in the Champions Trophy.
Yes, Babar is very important for us. He has a tremendous record in the all format of the cricket, and he will be in form, and all will be optimistic that our team will perform well. Babar should concentrate on their batting again and again. He needs to play a couple of more innings back to back. He scored over 50 after 20 innings, I think so. This was a bad patch for a batter. It's good news for all the people. The Babar is in form, is in good touch. I hope so in the third one day he will perform well and will be suitable for the national team.
Absolutely. Awais, how are you seeing this importance right now? Two phases have happened. We've seen a new energy or a new dimension of Kamran Ghulam, that he can provide you with a different kind of cricket in the last 10-15 overs, and Babar Rizwan finding form at the right moment for Pakistan. The importance of this in the Champions Trophy.
See, Ahmed bhai, if you talk about whole Pakistan team in yesterday's match, like I told you, everyone has been talking about this is the right time where Pakistan has peaked up because of the Champions Trophy coming up. And it's unfortunate, if you talk about the cricket board, we are not that kind of a team which prepares an year before that you will have your backup players. This is your mindset. This is the team which is going to go into the Champions Trophy. We are still confused. If you talk about the opening department, let's be frank, we are still confused. Will Abdullah Shafiq be the opener for Pakistan in the Champions Trophy, or who will be the opener for the Champions Trophy? We are still confused that, because there's Fakhar Zaman name coming up. Many names are coming up for the Pakistan team. You might see some old faces back in the Pakistan team, might be sitting up in the bench lineup, but you would see some faces coming back for the Pakistan team. But it's a good sign that at least you have got your middle order which actually wins the matches for you. Remember, opening department always plays a vital role, but your middle order is the one which actually wins the matches for you. And the position when you talk about 4th and 5th position are the positions where you accelerate your innings, you build up the economy rate, and you have to face one of the toughest ball, that's a spin ball deliveries when the ball gets old, because even you have to face your reverse swing ballers too. So Kamran Ghulam, the way he played yesterday, showed what skill he carries, and that's what I'm talking. Pakistan needs to have one role what he can play. That he can be used as a finisher, he can be used as a striker, even he can be used as a just demanding cricketer where you need to actually build up your innings. But again, I'll agree with Usman Bhai. One thing, we need to change that momentum. What we are playing, the old school cricket, it's that 270, 280, like I told you, we're talking about, that would be a safe total for Pakistan. It's a new era. Teams are scoring 350, 325, 360, 402, man. We need to score that. We need to keep in our mind. That's the point where I'm talking about. You need some aggressive players in the middle order. Might be anyone. I don't want to go again Fakhar Zaman, because I know you would say, why are you talking about Fakhar Zaman? But you need someone in the middle order or in the opening department who can play that modern day kind of cricket role, because that's missing a factor for the Pakistan team. Your spin bowling option looks good. Agha Salman, the way Rizwan has used him. Haris Rauf, little bit I would say, I know he looks a little bit off color, not frequently taking wickets. That would be a concerning side, but I'm happy for Naseem Shah. You saw him back in the form today.
Absolutely. I think these will really matter for Pakistan, but nonetheless, we're very happy. I would still believe we have to go 3-0. Simple as that. Don't take the last game lightly. Go with your strength and win this game. A 3-0 series is going to do wonders for you once you step in Pakistan and play that Champions Trophy. That being said, there's another development that has happened where the Pakistan Cricket Board has announced the next PSL draft that takes place in Gwadar. Let's take a look at this report.
In a groundbreaking move, the Pakistan Cricket Board has announced that the 10th edition of HBL Pakistan Super League player draft will take place in the picturesque sport city of Gwadar in Balochistan. This highly anticipated event is scheduled for Saturday, 11th January 2025. As the league kicks off its festivus, the event start time will be confirmed in the coming days. This marks a significant step by the PCB to bring cricket closer to the people of Balochistan, aiming to inspire the next generation of cricketers in the region. Gwadar, known for its breathtaking coastline and strategic importance, has been chosen as the venue to emphasize its cultural and economic value while uniting the nation through the spirit of cricket. PCB Chairman Mohsin Naqvi has shared his thoughts, saying, Gwadar represents the heart of Pakistan's economic future. By hosting the HBL PSL player draft here, we aim to highlight its significance while celebrating the unity cricket brings to our nation. I look forward to welcoming all franchise and stakeholders to this beautiful city on 11 January. HBL PSL CEO Salman Nasir echoed the excitement, stating, announcing Gwadar as the host city for the HBL PSL player draft fills me with immense pride. This initiative underscores our commitment to expanding HBL PSL's reach across Pakistan while showcasing the country's beauty to the world. It's a step toward inspiring young talent, especially from Balochistan, to dream big. The player draft will also set the stage for the much-awaited 10th edition of Pakistan's biggest sporting spectacle. Details regarding player retention and the relegation process will be announced by the end of December.
There you have it. Malaika gives us the detail in this report about the PSL draft, and I think it's a great omen and a sign of many positive developments to come. Usman, would you agree that taking a draft to Gwadar in that scenic stadium that's been talked about a lot?
It has got already late, isn't it? We were talking about the scenic vision of that Gwadar stadium, and we all were just surprised at how beautiful it is, and nobody has been there from the PCB or specifically talking about the event, and now we are having the HBL draft over there. Fantastic. And I think it's going to be one of the better drafts that is going to take place for the HBL PSL, and some very good players coming into the list as well. So a draft going to Balochistan, let it be a good omen for Quetta Gladiators.
Well, I think everybody deserves a home ground and a home match as well.
Yes.
I think it really matters for the teams themselves.
The next goal must be this. That
Absolutely.
Teams get home games.
Home games. It's very important. Really sets the tone right. I understand Karachi and Lahore playing against each other has said a lot, but obviously Islamabad playing in Pindi, that gives them a game. But imagine once we get a team from Pindi and Islamabad Pindi playing there. That is going to be the next level game.
Ahmed bhai, if you remember the early days of HBL PSL, it was a rivalry building up in between Peshawar and Quetta. And if we have games between Peshawar and Quetta, in Peshawar or Quetta, just imagine how much crowd can you draw for a PSL game.
Absolutely, but it's always great to see a new venue and I think a new addition. Jabbar Faisal, how would you highlight this great development that the next PSL draft is in?
I think it is a good step, but the maximum player from that region, Balochistan, must be included in PSL. Once, I think 1 decade back, a Balochi senator raised the issue why Balochias are not playing cricket. A journalist asked me, what should we do? If they are neglecting, we should try to provide them their right. There are a lot of good person in the Balochistan.
Good players, yes.
And they should give a chance. And other thing, if there will be possible, the top national tournament must be held in Quetta.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that stadium has the right to host those
Yes.
fixtures as well. Wes, your comment on the PSL draft happening in Gwadar Stadium?
It's going to be an amazing one. What news is coming up that it's going to be a different one and the most amazing one, because might be if there's news coming up, the salary cap has increased for the players, and it will be, obviously you need to attract some players, and the players who have not been selected in the IPL auction, they would obviously hunt that for Pakistan Super League spot, and it would be a great season to watch on. But one thing I would add, Ahmed bhai, when you travel to Balochistan, when you travel to Peshawar, the regions where these teams belong, the biggest complaint what Balochistan always has is that, and even I've intimated to the Quetta Gladiators whenever I spoke to them, two things. One, it's your team. It's the name of Quetta. I mean, the team belongs to Quetta. They want that team to visit them. They want them to have some fun activities over there, because that's where you actually have close liaisoning with the team. I mean, because it's affiliated with the name of Quetta. Secondly, if you compare the teams back in England where they play county seasons, they have got their own franchise in, for suppose it's Lancashire City will have the franchise of that team, which will have everything about that team, shirts and all that. Unfortunately, you don't have that kind of stuff that Quetta Gladiators need to do over there. Same with Peshawar, I would say they need to do. Rightly pointed, if you have matches in that cities, I swear.
But when are you branding new merchandise of your new team as well? When are you branding
with
it?
Multan Sultan.
No, he's with the Marcos these days.
These,
so,
yeah. These
so
days.
I'm just waiting for him to brand.
Let's see what Allah has given me, but I'm trying my level best to change the team now, because
You
I
were
want
swearing
to.
on something?
I think the amount of teams Allah has given you, West probably needs 3 or 4 closets to adjust those merchandise. But that being said, thank you very much, Mohammad West, for joining us. Thank you very much, Jabbar Faisal, and thank you very much, Malik Usman. Before we go, we have a very important update to share with you, and that is that the International Cricket Council has fined Henrik Klassen of 15% of his match fee and 1 demerit point for his actions of when he got out on 97. He was seen hitting the wickets with his leg. He kicked the wickets, and the umpires took a decision, and the panel has made that decision that he's been fined 15% of his match fee and of course 1 demerit point as well. On the other hand, the Pakistan team has now reached Johannesburg for the third one international as well, and if all goes well, we're hoping for a 3-0. That wraps up Sports Extra. From me and the entire team, it's goodbye for now.